to the full side. And first in, Zach Washington-Young. He swims in the S6 classification. Based in Ealing now. 5:39.42 in the qualification heats. Another S6 swimmer on the opposite side of the pool from Zach. That's Bruce D. Well, what a morning that Bruce D had this morning. British record in the 100 breaststroke. We'll see him a little bit later on. And also a massive improvement. 8-second personal best in the qualification heats this morning. There's Sam Downie, world champion, finalist twice over in 2022 and 2023. A man from East Lothian, just 18 years of age, Sam Downie, one of the youngest swimmers in the GB team over the last couple of years. And completing the lineup, Thomas Navarro-Barber. Sam Downie in the S8 class, Thomas Navarro-Barber in the S9 classification, Portsmouth North Sea swimmer. Was the fastest swimmer from the heats, but of course it's all about the points. So the times for the swimmers will be compared against the standard time for their classification. Standard time based on the world rankings over the last couple of years. If you're top of the world rankings over those last couple of years, you'll earn yourself 1,000 points. So anything up towards the 800-point range, the 900 points, the 1,000-point mark, you're looking at world-class swimming. So the two S6s in the outside lane of the four. Bruce D and Zach Washington-Young. Sam Downie, the S8 swimmer, and Thomas Navarro-Barber, the S9 swimmer. It's going to be quite a big ask for any of these swimmers to achieve the nomination times for the Paralympic Games, but we saw a big drop in time from Bruce D in the qualification heats. He's going to have to do something similar if he's going to achieve his qualification standard. No surprise to see Thomas Navarro-Barber leading them out. Man with the highest numerical classification. That means he has the least impairment of any of the swimmers here in this field. Thomas Navarro-Barber to try and make his GB debut at a major international meet. He's been competing for GB in the World Para Series meet. It's big. World Para Series now taking place over the world. I think there's 9 or 10 meets all over the world last year and scheduled for this year as well. The British one was held in Aberdeen a couple of months ago. We saw some good performances from the GB swimmers warming up for these British Championships. So the two S6 swimmers just going through at the 100 mark, Bruce D and Zach Washington-Young. And you can see just the advantage that Bruce D has. He's swimming with dwarfism, so he gets a little bit of push off the wall, whereas Zach Washington-Young with that lower limb impairment doesn't get off the wall quite as well as Bruce D. And with a number of turns here in this 400 freestyle, well, that might be an advantage to Bruce D come towards the end. But at the moment, Thomas Navarro-Barber is leading them through. He's got to make as much of a gap between him and Sam Downie as possible, and the two S6s if he's going to challenge them in terms of points and become the British champion. Very, very swift nomination time for Thomas Navarro-Barber's class, the S9 classification. As he goes over at the halfway point. Navarro-Barber, let's just check the gap between him and Sam Downie. Sam Downie's swimming a little bit faster than we saw him swim in the heats this morning. About 7 seconds or so. At the moment, you'd probably put Sam Downie maybe the favourite in terms of points. Navarro-Barber stretching away, trying to improve that distance between him. Going over at the halfway point. Maybe the two S6s at the other end of the tour. Yeah, just with that edge over Zach Washington-Young, but Thomas Navarro-Barber. Nomination criteria very, very tough for the S9 and the S8 swimmers, Navarro-Barber and Sam Downie. Bruce D, you can see there, just edging it over ahead of Zach Washington Young. Bruce Dee looking in good shape today.
Paul, how have they set the qualifications? Because you said they're particularly hard for those categories. How have they set them?
It's based on the world standards, Andy. So it's all about the world rankings. It's a certain place in the world rankings, percentage off the third place, I think, in the world rankings. So these British swimmers, a lot of them are youngsters, not quite up there in the world rankings, but moving through very strongly. The likes of Bruce Dee, big improvements today, and that can only help the GB swimmers in the future. So great swim at the moment by Thomas Navarro Barber. His lifetime best is 4:32. Let's hope he can challenge that. Portsmouth North Sea. And look at Bruce Dee stretching away from Zach Washington Young. That's an excellent swim from the youngster from Northampton. Northampton with a big pedigree in para swimmers over the last few years. Maisie Summers-Newton, of course, double Paralympic champion. Ellie Robinson, the champion back in Rio in 2016. So a number of great role models for Bruce Dee. But here is Thomas Navarro Barber. Let's hope he can just dip inside that entry time, or his lifetime best, 4:32.42. He's just outside that in the morning's heats. 4:32. It's going to be there or thereabouts, you know. It might just be a 4:33 again. And Thomas Navarro Barber, 766 points. That's not a bad points total at all for the man from Portsmouth North Sea. Sam Downie, can he challenge that one? He was 4:53 in the heats this morning, and he's 4:48 for Sam Downie. So great improvement for Sam Downie from East Lothian. And here's Bruce Dee now with the edge over Zach Washington Young. We'll keep an eye on the points total. Remember, not necessarily the person who touches the wall first will get the highest number of points. It's a good example here. And here comes Bruce Dee. What a swim he had. 5:23 in the heats this morning. That was a huge personal best for him. He's going to improve that again. 5:23.24. And he is, just outside by 3/100ths of a second. But look at the contest there in terms of points. All in the mid-700 range for these three para swimmers. Zach Washington Young, 5:39 he was this morning. He's 5:36 in the final. The man who will be watched at home by his 10-month-old son, Chance. He'll be watching his dad very closely. And a good swim from Zach, gives a wave to the family back home. But some excellent swims there from the three swimmers, the four swimmers in the field there. Sam Downie will be the top on points. 4:48 dead for Downie, ahead of Navarro Barber and Bruce Dee. And an improvement from Zach Washington Young, the London-based swimmer, in fourth.